The last time I saw you was 2023, October.
What has changed since then? I'm older, a lot more calm. Life's not as terrible. I
I
don't think
love
life
that.
was terrible then, but it was definitely like rough. Yeah, my resolves changed a lot. Um, Way more confident in the music. A little too confident in the music, I think. I think that's like a crutch. Yeah. I don't know. All I do is work. So I don't know. Joey keeps telling me I need to go like on vacation and just like be a normal person. But a bit of
Sometimes we all need that work, that break.
yeah, I don't think I spent enough time living.
When you say your resolve is different, do you mean your ability to withstand all the demands of your job?
Yeah. Yeah. I think at one point I had such a visceral fear of not accomplishing my goals that I would shut down if something wasn't working. I couldn't like bear it. I think I was like adding too much external factors to the work. Like I was tying it so heavily to like family dynamics or like internal issues that I had that like somehow success here would fix these things. So if something wasn't going the way that I wanted it to, I would like lose my shit. But now I'm like, to what avail, you know?
Mhm.
And I think this is supposed to be something that's fun. I think you're supposed to enjoy your craft more than anything. So
Yeah, your job is what you're passionate about.
Mhm.
Somebody in my life once told me, if your job is your passion, then you never work a day in your life.
Mhm.
And it's like sometime down the road, a lot of us creators and creatives, we lose sight of that.
I don't think I have a good relationship with passion or with my passion. Music. It's a very like perverse and like abusive relationship, I think. That I have to like that's like the next stage of like working on uh being a creative and having a very healthy relationship with, you know, what and how you create. I think I've like for a very long time I've correlated intensity with like purpose. So the more intense something is, the more purposeful it is and the more value it has. But I don't think that's like necessarily true.
Not at all.
It was the same thing we were saying like
Yeah.
off camera when I was like, you know, the songs where like I don't try at all are the ones where like people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. And the one that I spent like 6 years on like 2 lines, everyone's like,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Or sometimes the idea that you think isn't great ends up being the biggest song you've ever had.
Yeah.
Which this isn't the first time RAAHiiM and I have had a conversation. Back in October of 2023, we had a really great conversation about everything, I think, at the time. That was around the release of But If I'm Honest.
Yes, sir.
And so during that time, you told me that your song Peak, you actually didn't even want to put out, but Jordan Manswell said, if you put this out, this will change
your
your
life.
life.
Yeah.
So I love that you put that out, and I love that we're here. And I love that I can finally ask you to complete this sentence. I knew better, but if I'm honest.
Pray for me. Yes.
Can you explain to your audience and your fans, because I don't know if they even realize that this is a trilogy, a series of albums. Could you explain to them why you decided to end it in this way?
At 19, I made the decision that I was going to do music full force. At 20, I had realized that I was about to go on an interesting journey of like self-realization. One that I was a bit apprehensive of because I think I'd latched so much identity or like weight to who I thought I was supposed to be. I think most teens, like late teens, early 20s do that. And I didn't know where things were going to go, but I knew the general idea. I understood the general like emotional roller coaster of like working through yourself. So I knew what was going to come. So it was like a trilogy of just like the slow burn of acceptance of like where you're at. And Pray For Me was kind of just like the tail end of it. So I talked about everything. Like I Knew Better was the awkward stages of the end of Fear of the Unknown, ironically. Right. So at the end of the album, I had an interlude on there called Last Words, which was like literally probably like maybe one of the 3 last conversations I had with my mother. And something just told me to record it. And I thought it was like a little too intimate to put on an album, but I was like, whatever, I'll put it anyway. And I Knew Better was me dealing with like the backlash of that loss, which is how you have songs like Drunk Text or Millions. And then But If I'm Honest was, you know, having a real honest conversation with myself about who I feel like I'm becoming and how that scares me. And then Pray For Me is like my acceptance of that.
Mm. So you've come to that ground of I know who I am, I know what my purpose is, and you're comfortable with that.
I would say so, yeah. I mean, I still think I'm figuring it out, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool
So let's get a little bit into that purpose and that background and where RAAHiiM is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I brought you something. Just like last time, I brought you something. I tried to hide it stealthily. I was like, let me see if I can sneak off into the corner. RAAHiiM ain't gonna see me. The lighting's blinding him like when he's on a stage with on the Jesse Reyez tour. This is Michael Jackson's Bad album.
Oh my fucking God, bro.
Last time.
Did you know?
Yeah. Did I know what? I want to know what did I? I'm not sure what I might have knew.
Did we talk about this at our last meeting?
You said that you used to listen to this at your grandparents' house, I believe.
At my mother's house, yes. We had this exact vinyl.
Do you have this already?
No.
Sick.
It got lost after. I remember all of these images. I remember looking at them and going like, this guy's really eccentric. This was one of the first pieces of Michael Jackson music that I ever listened to.
Wow. How big of an influence was he on you growing up?
Every kid, every R&B singer, this is their number one influence.
Yeah, definitely. If he wasn't an influence for somebody, I'd be like, I don't know why. Yeah. What went wrong that Michael Jackson wasn't an influence for you?
Yeah, I had a big afro like him. I used to dance all the time when I was a kid and try to moonwalk, and Joe and Cena can moonwalk. Yeah, this was like a very vital part of my childhood.
What's a core memory that it brings back?
Blasting it in my ears, trying to find every single instrument that was used. Because I didn't understand the technical side of music yet. But like my ADHD would love hearing like the random layered synths, or like there's a song here called Just Good Friends. Mm-hmm. There it is, with Stevie Wonder. And he's doing a lot of like random stuff in the background vocally. And I would just sit there and like study it for hours. That and like, dancing in my socks. But I didn't want to give that answer because I thought it was too basic.
No, that was my first thought when you mentioned dance. Everybody took off their shoes and tried to new moonwalk in the socks because you're trying to figure out how did Michael get his sticky ass shoes to slide across that floor like that.
Thank you for this, bro. This means a lot.
No problem. I actually took this from my own personal collection.
Really?
Yeah. So
I might need you to sign this. I'm not going to lie.
For sure. It's not going to be very good because I'm right-handed.
Oh, shit. That's okay.
So I guess for the audience, I tore a tendon in my right thumb and my dominant hand playing hooping. So that's why I'm bandaged up like this and why I wasn't able to go out and buy you another vinyl. But I said, what? I'm going to take something of mine and give it to him because I remembered you said this was a big part of growing up for you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you don't have it.
I be wearing a lot of leather jackets because of this album.
Not today. They got the corduroy.
Yeah,
you look good, man. You look good. You smell good.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. Look, man's doing well for himself. I can tell.
I'm doing all right.
Yep. So let's go back to being in your parents' house. I want you to bring your mind back there. Your grandmother's around. Your grandfather. Mm-hmm. Your father's around. In this latest project, I found it really interesting that you had songs where there's on one song. I thought there was some music starting right there. Anyway, I found it really interesting that you had songs where I hear a church pastor,
Mhm.
and then halfway through the record, which I thought was a pastor, ends up being a DJ.
Yeah,
And then based on my research, your grandfather was a pastor, and your father was a DJ. What was that like growing up with these two different opposing careers that you can look at and be like, I can go down either of these paths?
My grandfather, I knew from very, very young. He took this like Joe Jackson approach to my upbringing in terms of like just what he wanted out of me musically. So I would wake up around 5:36. I might have vocal lessons in the morning. I go to school, I come back. We do piano. I might do like acting classes or well, I was in martial arts at the time, or more piano, more vocal lessons. And he was a vocal teacher. So he would sit, make me practice every day for 2-3 hours or so. And then during the week, I would either do recitals or I would do like church events, sometimes commercials, sometimes weddings, sometimes funerals. And this went on for about 9-10 years until I kind of just was getting overworked and everybody was like, hey, I don't think this is like healthy for a child.
Yeah. Did you like that?
No, I have a weird love-hate relationship with my career choice as a result. Yeah. Everything now as an adult is very much like an interesting juxtaposition because as a kid, growing up with my grandfather, everything was public perception based because he was this infamous passer. Funny side story. I was walking through the airport and I hit TSA. TSA agent's a Jamaican man. He looks at my passport. He goes, where I know this last name from? I said, do you go to church? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you know my grandfather, Pastor Herlock? He goes, little boy RAAHiiM. Oh my God. I remember when you were. I'm like,
You know, if I'm when last
yeah. And I'm like,
see,
bro, I'm just trying to get to
I mean,
get to the crib.
I mean, to talk to him. How your mama?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like there was a lot of pressure to kind of like stand up straight and be a certain type of individual. So much so that I think I missed out on like vital years of image development, like free image development as a child. But now my career is all about image. It's all about being seen and being comfortable with being seen. So, yeah.
Has that been a process for you to learn to accept being comfortable to be seen? Because you are mysterious.
I didn't take pictures for years.
Bruh.
Yeah, I hated taking pictures. I hated being on camera. I hated the idea of being seen. I just wanted to be heard. I didn't care for the actual showmanship of the music. I just wanted to make the music because that was like the first love.
Yeah.
Now I'm still working through it, but I don't mind it as much. It's part of the job.
Yeah. So why did you call the album Pray For Me? With your grandfather being this, I don't know the adjective you use to describe his pastoral services. I don't know if you said nefarious or you said illustrious. I can't remember.
We'll go with illustrious. We'll go with
Illustrious.
illustrious.
So why did you decide to call the album Pray For Me?
Because I spent a lot of time resenting that era of my life. And I think it was like healthy to honor it in some way, to like accept the fact that like this was a very vital part to who I've become. And growing up, I was basically coached and trained to be his prodigy. You know, I was supposed to be the next pastor. I obviously did not do that by any means. But I kind of wanted to cosplay it a little bit. I kind of wanted to see what it would feel like to placate into that character that he wanted out of me.
Did you do that on the album?
I did. There's the pastor voices all over. That's where that
you.
voice is. Yeah,
that's you. Me. Yeah, I was like, damn, this pastor is good. I was looking for the collection plate, man. Had my $10 ready for my tithes.
Yeah, it was just me. And like, we don't have a good relationship, so it was almost like my way of like giving him something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
yeah,
you can have this because the body of work will live forever. It's the digital age, so it'll never go anywhere.
Yeah.
But, based off of what you did teach me and what you did give me, here's a labor of love that took me 4 years to kind of like work through. Yeah, I don't think he'd like it based off of what I'm saying, but like,
Is he still with us?
yeah, he's still around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know we don't talk, but yeah, he's still
Okay.
around.
I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah. But it's amazing that you were doing the pastor voices on there. I was looking through the credits trying to see like who did this.
I was up at like the first time I came up with the idea was when I made On God.
Mhm.
And I got the idea from late registration. I was just listening to what's his David light-skinned comedian. I can't remember his name right now. But all over late registration, Kanye, do I look like I got a promise face? Like, I liked how he built a world for the music around these characters that he created. And I realized nobody really does that anymore.
Not at all, no.
When the cameras aren't rolling, I'm a pretty animated person. So I was like, you know what? Like, I should allow myself the freedom to explore. 4 a.m, I'm screaming into the mic like I'm standing on a
Do you
pulpit.
live alone?
No.
Your girl is just like,
listen, man.
I'm working.
Not even I'm working, just what the hell are you in there doing? That's usually people's questions. But, everyone knows I'm a bit strange, so no one thinks twice about it.
Look, strange people are fun, man. It's cool to be yourself, be weird. Like, and I think it's a blessing to get to that point where you're comfortable in your weirdness.
Yeah.
Because that's where the genius lies. And I thought those instances on the album where the pastor comes in made it genius. It really accelerated my brain to try to figure out what this story is, man. I'd like to start with a prayer. Mm-hmm. I know we're used to, but this club is open all night. Mm-hmm. That was on what song?
I know what you used to, but this club. That's Prayers for My Exes.
Prayers for My Ex. I love that song. When the song begins, I'm thinking we're in a church. Mm-hmm. We get halfway through there. I know we're used to, but this club is open all night. I'm like, wait, and it's the same pastor. Wait a second. Mm-hmm. What is going on? What is RAAHiiM saying? Were you looking for the same type of love in the church that you were in the club?
Nah, not necessarily. It was more so, it's not necessarily commentary on the literal sense. It's more so a behavioral thing, right? Like,
so what is that behavior that you were commenting on?
I think there is an irony to how fleeting life is right now and how inconsistent it is, right? Like, my career is very fast-paced. Things are constantly changing. It only slows down unless I demand that it slows down. But if I fully lean into it, there is no room for grounding unless you force it. As most artists talk about all the time, like, you got to stop. And that plus the constant change of your internal system, your personal system, there's not much room to experience love on like a full scale, because everything's kind of just go. Mm-hmm. I thought it was ironic that my playground does not leave room to maturely find somebody and like, be in a relationship. But I'm a lover boy at heart, so you still crave it, right?
Yeah.
I found it ironic that when we would go to the club, like my favorite strip club is Booby Trap. When we would go to Booby Trap.
What's it called?
Booby Trap. It's in
Booby
Miami.
Trap. I think you said Booty Trap.
No, Booby.
Oh, okay. I was like, hey.
When we would go.
Works either way.
It feels just like church. Like, you walk in, this lady with white gloves takes your names, brings you to, the usher, she brings you to your seats. She makes sure everybody's good. She does the welcoming, blah, 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 blah. If you order bottle service, she'll come around with shots. She'll pour the shots out for you, almost like communion. But while she's doing that, there's a guy on the stage, usually on like a high-rise level, the DJ, and he's yelling at you about freeing yourself and living your best life and enjoying yourself. And this next song is dedicated to blah, 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 blah,
That's a
blah.
pastor.
Boom. And then, you know, the women come around, they dance, they sing, you talk, you have communion. And then at the end, you give them money and you go home. And everybody in that building hopes that you either A, feel better than when you came, or you gave a lot of money. One of these two things has to happen. I thought it was funny that my life had changed so much, but like the behavior was the exact same. Like the disconnect that I felt emotionally around people inside the church, I still felt it outside everywhere else. So in that commentary, I kind of just came to the conclusion that it was more about myself than it was about anything else. Like,
why did you feel disconnected from people in the church? I could understand with your grandfather, somebody's trying to push you into a box of who they want you to be, and everything in your system's bursting out and saying, I want to be who I want to be. But why the church itself?
he's a pastor. So whatever he wants, they want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's difficult when you walk into a building and 400 to... Because the way that SDA Church works, everybody knows each other in different churches.
Yeah.
So let's say among like 4 or 5 different churches, everyone knows my life and my business very intimately. So every time I step into the building,
Yeah.
I could be 6 and someone will be like, where's your mom? I'm like, oh, you know my mother. Tell her I said hello next time you see her. Or someone will be like, oh, like I spoke to your father last week. That's hilarious. I've never met him. What's he like? And so this went on from maybe like 3 to 13, 14. I just stopped going.
Sorry, is your father in your life?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that last sentence threw me off for a sec.
At the time, he wasn't. He was going through his own stuff. So we didn't really meet until I was about 12.
Oh my
Like where I was
goodness.
like I had met him in passing before,
Yeah.
but that was when we started building like a real relationship.
Yeah, you guys are cool now? You guys are tight?
We're cool.
Yeah, that's dope. 96 Camry. So
Favorite
speaking
song?
about your father, that
Yeah.
is my favorite song. I love that song.
Me too.
Where do you rank that? And of all the love songs you've ever made,
I think that's the only love song I've ever written.
RAAHiiM, stop chat like.
For real. Well, what's another love song?
I mean, you are the creator, so you are entitled to your opinion.
Well, what do you think is a love song?
Well, okay, Peak is more, I was listening to it earlier. That's more like me and my wife are finally alone. I'm gonna turn down the lights. And
Yeah.
Spin the Block is not a love song.
It's not.
It's like you were with your ex and you're gonna go back to her. You just got back. Just touchdown. I'm piercing, girl. I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
See, this guy. He knows.
I don't.
He knows that there's no other love songs.
I don't write love songs. The only love songs I've ever written is On God and 96Camry.
And that must sound crazy to people because when they think, I think that when we think of RAAHiiM, we think of dark music, but there is a sense of a soft soul behind all of this.
Definitely. I'm definitely a lover boy, but I just don't think that I don't think I've often given room to imagine something other than what I've already written, except for those 2 songs.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
You'd think with the description I just gave, which I think most of your fans would agree, that there would be another love song. That's really interesting. I want to ask somebody to fact check RAAHiiM, but you would know. But back to 96 Camry, back to your father. There was my favorite part of that song, and I have it here in my notes because I'm like, I want to make sure that I quote him correctly. I love you like my mom loves her cigarettes. Draw you close to me so you make it hard to breathe. Wanna love you like my granny loves her Bible. With every page of you, I read.
Damn.
Wanna love you like my dad loved his Camry. That's the only kind of love I've seen. My question is, do you think your family showed you good examples of what love is?
Oh, no.
You don't?
No, not at all. That's why I wrote the song.
Can I be honest? I much respect, Mas, whatever your name is. I agree.
Yeah, I think I'm working.
I miss whatever. Respect everybody. Respect grandma. Respect mommy. Everybody.
I'm working through it now.
Yeah.
But I think Yeah, no. I think I confronted that part of myself when I made that song. Because there was so much, I have so many like poor habits in relationships. I have so much like such a skewed view of like what love should look like. Same thing with the music. It's all rooted in like intensity. Like as if like because something's intensity, there's like some form of like labor of love. And a lot of that is rooted in the fact that growing up, affection came at the cost of something. So I always had to show up and prove to be to or to at least to feel accepted or to feel like I'm supposed to be here.
Love was like transactional.
Very,
You did something, so you got love.
very,
It wasn't just open and given.
very. But then I added that to my own relationships, and all it did was burn me out because now I'm not even like necessarily showing up authentically in this relationship. And that song, when I sat with myself and I sat with like what I wanted, and somebody had asked me like, what do you think love feels like to you? That was the only thing I could answer. Because I went back through my Rolodex and the entire song's about devotion. Some form of devotion. I don't know any other word to describe it other than that.
I think that's a great lyric to describe it. Did your mom, my condolences, I know she passed away sometime before the last album.
Yeah. No, years before that. Yeah,
Okay.
She passed 2016.
Okay. Regardless, that's a pain that comes in waves. I know. The devotion of somebody to be smoking cigarettes and
So here's a little funny convoluted lore. My mother who passed is actually my adopted mother. My real mother is still alive, and she's very much a chain smoker. She loves to smoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which line was that one about?
That was about my real mother.
Your real mother. Yeah. Okay, so she's still with us.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, chain smoking, you have to be devoted to do that. That's 10 cigarettes here. You're gonna smoke all that.
Yeah. I don't know if she still is, but last time I knew her. Yeah.
I hope she finds it through that. I mean, everybody is entitled to do what they want to do, but COPD is real. It's real. I don't want to take it too health wise. We're gonna keep it to the music. But no, I would think devotion is a great way to describe that song, whether it be cigarettes or devoted to your Bible or devoted to looking at your Camry and standing there and like, that's my bitch.
Yeah, my dad had this old school Honda Accord. It was like a sports car. It was so cool. But he would never fix it. He never maintained it. He never got it on the road. He just was so attached to it. And it just stayed in the garage for maybe like 3-4 years.
That's a toxic relationship, man. That is
there you go.
That's like having a beautiful woman and you don't allow her to spread her wings and find herself in the world.
So that's what that lyric was about.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So you said something else where you mentioned your ideal of love, your idea of love. You said nothing's off limits. So how would you describe love? What is your ideal love?
I don't know.
Is it one of those things where you know it when you see it?
No, I'm still working through it. I think, you know what? I used to say this all the time. To me, the highest form of love is understanding, to be understood. Because that means you have to let go of your own personal bias and how you may feel about a situation to step into somebody else's shoes and experience that and have reverence for that.
Reverence.
So,
love that word.
All these like biblical terms I'm using, but
no. Like in my own life, that word reverence has appeared when discussing love.
Yeah.
To revere somebody, it's an important word.
Yeah. So I think that's how I would describe love now, if I had to. But I'm still working through that within myself. So.
Sure. That's everybody, right? We're all just shedding skin as we go and like recreating ourselves. Man, you've been traveling a lot though.
Oh,
I can tell the man's ready to, although you look fresh, you look like you're about to go to a next function after this. Listen, for sure. But
I've seen every airport in North America.
What about the Miami airport? What's that like?
I'm always in Miami. I love Miami.
I could tell, man. Save a Moment. I really like that song a lot too.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. I love Save a Moment.
Yeah. What are your favorite aspects of it?
It's just fun. It's
Super fun.
save them like it's like a breath of fresh air compared to like how heavy I think I've approached music because it's so therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
But like I really be wanting to turn up. So I was like, in the world of R&B, it's a little difficult because a lot of times people will want to hear something emotional. They'll want to like, but I'm like, nah, we need at least one, just one that's like, just have fun, shake a little ass for a little bit, and then we can get back to sad boy vibes.
Something that you can go to your favorite strip club, and when you walk in, they put it on for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's fire.
Yeah, I was listening to this artist Jameson. He has a song called "Soft Spot."
Shout out to Jameson, man. He's
incredible.
Dope.
And I was listening to a lot of 2 Live Crew for whatever reason. I don't know. I was just like in a bag, and I was like, I think I could do this. So
I remember driving around to 2 Live Crew with my friends back at high school. Hey, we want some pussy. Great times.
I love that song, by the way.
So what's your history with Miami? With the city of Miami?
Miami was the first time my brain registered that I could do something outside of Toronto. Not necessarily that Toronto's a small town, but the first time that I felt like I'd spent so much time here trying to be somebody. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what that would be. I just kind of like looked at my family and I was like, I'm gonna start singing. And everyone was like, okay. Ended up in the remix project. Somehow ended up with a beautiful mentor in 1985. And he brought me out to Miami with all of my favorite artists and producers. And, it felt like a G League tryout. Like it felt like, all right, let's see how well you could ball. And I put up some fucking numbers, just songs after song after song, because I knew like, it felt like I had to. And it was beautiful working with all these guys that like had carried me through high school. So now a lot of the albums or songs that you hear, I end up going right back to Miami to kind of like recreate that like adolescent hunger and that like that feeling of newness. And obviously like the clubs are great. So
of course. So you have a lot of history in Miami.
Yeah.
In your early years as an artist.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like an ode to that.
We'll probably spend like maybe 2 weeks to a month there almost every year.
I remember the first time we met, you mentioned that it was funny because you'd be back home in Brampton. At times you were homeless.
Yeah.
And you'd have one suitcase of clothes.
Yeah.
And the same suitcase of clothes you had with you in Brampton would be what you had with you in Miami.
In Miami, yeah.
And just like how crazy it was to go there. And
yeah, there was a lot of imposter syndrome at that time. Because I felt like people knew. Like every time they saw me, it was the same bag, same jeans, same jacket, hair uncut. And I was just like, what's up, guys? I'm here to make music. But
look how far you've come.
Yeah.
Beard lined up nicely.
Listen,
now.
Man.
Crispy.
Listen, man, we're here.
You got a tattoo on?
Yeah. I think it's on this side.
Yeah. What is that?
A Basquiat crown.
Basquiat crown. Do you put that symbol on your album covers?
I haven't yet. I tatted it on my face because I had like a weird obsession with him for a little bit. I was reading like his biography and just looking at how, I don't want to use the word tormented, but how eccentric his artwork was. And I was writing a song one day and I was like, I put a crown where my tears should be. And I was like, I should probably actually do that. So.
You're quite the artist too, though, I find.
Thank you.
The last time we spoke, and I love going back to that conversation. Hopefully you guys get to see it one day.
Yeah, we'll put it on.
What other painters do you like?
Malik Roberts is my personal absolute favorite. He does these like deep pastel, I don't know if it's pastel, I'm not an art kid like that, I just like looking at it. Colors, and it's like Afro surrealism. So he'll combine like let's say a pose that would have been done during like the Renaissance era, like those royalty pictures, but it'll be a Black person, modern. They'll have like a do-rag and gold grills, but the background will be like a deep blue with a splash of red. It's very gorgeous. He's my personal favorite right now.
You said you're not an art kid, but I don't agree with you. I remember what I was going to say. The last time we spoke, I said that everything you write feels like you're writing in hindsight, and you mentioned how, um, but if I'm honest, I always want to say but if I'm being honest, but if I'm honest, ended with 2007, and then at the time you said that everything after that was going to be 2006 to whatever year. I think that the best way to consume this trilogy is to listen to it in reverse.
Really?
To get the best story. I
Oh.
found that so you say you're not an art kid. Maybe you don't realize your own genius in that, but the consistency of being in the club, the consistency, the lyrics, sometimes they point to in one body of the most recent body of work, looking for love in the club and seeming like you believe it's there, but then going back to your first project and that didn't exist to you. You're like, no.
Yeah.
I think that the best way to listen to this is to start with the last song on your most recent project and go all the way to the beginning. I wish I could articulate exactly what's going through my mind, but I wanted to get your opinion on that.
I had never thought about that before. I don't know. I would have to listen to it backwards to see, but I always like think about albums based off of the first and the last song. The first song on I Knew Better is You Love Me. The last song is 2007. That would be an interesting thematically. I did want to point out though, the whole finding love in the club thing, if someone does listen to it from that perspective, I would say listen to it more from the eyes of like Millions, in the sense that it's not necessarily that I'm looking for love in the club. It's just more that I've recognized that there are parts of myself that aren't all the way together. So being in this room or being in this environment, whether work related or not, always feels like I'm like somehow in this like weird empty void. I'm like, am I supposed to be having fun right now? Am I supposed to be enjoy? Like Jovan always gets at me. He's like, bro, just enjoy yourself. I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be enjoying this.
This is
like,
a work function.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, am I turn up here? Like, you said on Just Like Me. You said you're just like me in the club like me. Want to feel love like me. And then, like, speaking of millions, you said I saw $1 million in the club, but I've never seen love.
Man,
when I read that in reverse,
stop writing these sad ass songs.
No, but I mean, that's another that could be a conversation for today. You know, maybe we need to get more of these Miami-based songs
You know
from
what I'm saying?
But when I was listening to those, and like for people that don't have the track list in front of them, Just Like Me is on the most recent body of work.
Yes.
Millions is on the first body of work. Yeah. But when you look at that, if you looked at it like Millions, I saw $1 million in the club, but I've never seen love. And then you listen to Just Like Me. You're just like me in the club like me. Want to feel love like me. Yeah. You'd think that the person who's grown to know that he isn't going to find love in his club wouldn't have been the person you saw on the first album. It would have been the person you saw on the most recent album.
You know what though? Pray For Me is that acceptance of like, the hole that I started digging in Millions, I accepted that I was in that hole. Yeah. Like, because it's a part of the artistry, right? Like,
yeah,
it's a part of the world that you exist in. It's a part of the world that you grow in. I actually have such a fear of like not getting married as a result of my career path.
So why do you have that fear of not getting married?
All of my artist friends tell me that it just gets lonelier. It's really, really hard to balance your career, like let's say I go to a studio session. This studio session is with rapper A. Mm-hmm. I'm in the studio with rapper A, and he brings in 42 random Instagram models. Now I got to text my girl, yeah, like I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Or such and such wants to have a meeting, or they want to have a get together. His get together location is Tootsie's. Now
Strip club?
Yeah. So now I gotta say, yeah, I'm at a work meeting right now. Okay. But away from that, there is a lack of authenticity that comes with notoriety and growing in artistry.
There's a lack of authenticity that comes with the
Not for me.
There's a lack of authenticity in the notoriety and growing.
Like in the fact that you are now becoming somebody that's like, I talk to so many of my artist friends about this. You're becoming somebody that other people can't necessarily identify in terms of like relation, like they can't relate to it. That admiration removes a layer of authenticity in when you speak and when you like interact, because now they're seeing you as like a commodity or someone bigger than you may feel internally.
Yeah.
So how do you connect with people when that becomes like the focal point of your career? Obviously, I'm not big enough for it to be like the biggest problem in the world, but for years I resented the idea of success because I was like, oh, I don't want to be alone forever.
And if you feel that now,
what's it going to be like when
yeah, what's it going to be like when you get there? Because I feel confident you will get there, especially if you're putting more songs like this Miami bass thing, because those will go. The ballads will always connect with the R&B head, the person that is, it's 12:30 a.m. and they just put on Pray For Me and they're looking for something cool and vibey to just relax to while they have a little bit of wine. But those Miami bass records, that is what's going to get
turn people up. Yeah,
that's when they get you into the place where people deify you, if that's the word I'm looking for, and you start to feel that's tough. Like this guy.
I think I've just accepted where I'm at. And I think like multiple things can be true. So I think that can be a fear, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily the reality of the situation.
It's true.
That's just where like a huge chunk of my anxiety lies, because I'm always like thinking 4 or 5 steps ahead. So I'm like, oh man, like I remember I was like, yeah, like I just want to be successful and get married. And another artist in the room was like, you think it's going to get better? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, no, brother, it gets worse. It gets way worse. And I was like maybe 19, 20 at the time. So it never left my brain when they said
How old was that artist that said that?
Mid to late 30s.
They've been around the block.
Yeah.
I want to ask you if your opinions changed, but I mean, clearly.
It has to some degree. I don't necessarily think it's the complete truth. I just think I've learned, even like, going through the track list on the album, I don't have a healthy relationship with intimacy enough to even like consider like, moving forward in that. That's something that I have to work through before I even entertain.
So I feel like there's a lot of callbacks to your previous work.
Yeah.
On Pray For Me, two of the other 2 albums in the series. What are a few of your favorites?
The end of Dirt on Me was a start to Pray For Me.
How does the end of Dirt on Me go?
I'll pray for you. There was like a gospel song I had written, and I just sampled it into Dirt on Me. And it was kind of like my way of saying, hey, this is going to happen. At the end of 2007, I have an indie song that I wrote that I use as the outro, and I'm talking over it. And in that talking point, I could say, my nights turn into my days. I don't know what's going on, but pray for me. And I was like kind of like hinting at like where things were going to go.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Listening to it back then, that made me feel like, where is this coming? And you always, the word pray is, I don't want to say it's prevalent in your music.
I feel like it is.
The word club is prevalent in your music.
And the thing is, I be in the crib. I don't go out that much.
Yeah, maybe the club is your crib, because
I do be turning up inside.
Bro, I wanted to do a drinking game with you. But
I was gonna say I wish we had some wine, but
I'm on medication for the wrist. I can't even consume. Man, that's all. We cheer. You got coffee?
It's done now.
That's okay. I said we cheers it up to a great album, man. Pray for me.
Thank you.
I wasn't ask you to pray for me, but that's okay.
I'll say a prayer for you.
Please, y'all, if you don't mind, brother, say a prayer for me.
No, I can't do it on the spot. It's making me nervous.
What do you mean? You're raised to be a pastor, bred.
I know, but it's such a touchy, like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I have a weird relationship with it.
And do you consider yourself a Christian still?
No.
Okay.
not at all. I've found my own like level of spirituality. It's always tied to the music. It's always been tied to the music. But I try not to overcomplicate my like religious beliefs. I keep them very, very kosher.
I think you can kosher. This guy always the artist. I love that. I love that. Nah, I think there's so many truths out there, and in every religion, there's beauty in all of them, and there's something you can pull for your spirit to ascend to whichever higher plane you choose. I firmly believe that, man. What other songs do you feel that on Pray For Me connect really well to your previous works?
Ooh. Too Much. Sometimes when I listen to Too Much, I feel like it should have been on But If I'm Honest.
What? How does the hook of Too Much go?
Is it my fault that you move like you're a star? It's the second song. Oh, who turned you on? Who turned you on? Who did too much? Did I do too much? Oh, girl, say it for me once. It almost felt like a sequel to Too Good. That's what it felt like. So I had that song. 20s also feels like it should have been on But If I'm Honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I like 20s. I feel like it's good on this project, but it might just be the way I interpret the project.
Only because it feels like the awkward early 20s angst that I felt making But If I'm Honest. But I think that was like the final thought to how I felt then. Because I don't think I wrapped up all my feelings when I made But If I'm Honest. Like 20s felt like the end of that.
Oh, and is it true you sampled your father on that record with Beam?
WiiCKEDEST? Yeah.
For us, that's really cool. Where did you get that sample from?
Facebook.
Facebook.
I just went on Facebook and I was going through like his DJ reels, and I found a video of him just like, he was at a dance hall clash and he was just screaming his head off, and I was like,
perfect.
That would sound really good on this song.
Can you send me that video?
Yeah, I'll find it.
I would splice it right there for the people. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
You see, that got a songwriting credit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's like, all right, big up respect.
I mean, he's a huge mentor. Like early days, I used to go to the studio with him and his brethren, and they would, he had a Triton, and we would make beats on the Triton and then plug the Triton into Pro Tools, and we would record each sound individually. And that's how I first started making music.
How was tour with Jesse Reyez?
Incredible. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Why was it the hardest thing? One of the hardest things you've ever done?
I'm too much of a studio rat. I don't leave the studio. That's my safe space. Because when I was a kid, it was my coping mechanism. It was how I coped with, whatever I was dealing with. But now you got to deal with exposure therapy. You got to be outside. You got to be on stage. You have to be on. You have to, present yourself to the world. So I had to work through a lot of imposter syndrome on that tour. I had to work through a lot of like stage fright, and not stage fright in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to mess this up, but like more image-based things of like, how do I look? Like, am I giving it my all? Oh, like, I don't like how that sounded. Like, I wasn't necessarily nervous to be on stage because I'd been doing that for so long, just like overcritical. Halfway through, I kind of stopped caring. I stopped giving a shit. Because I remember after one show, Jessie came up to me. She's like, "Are you having fun?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You don't look like you're having fun. You should go like enjoy yourself on the stage." And that kind of like switched my brain a little bit.
I'm glad that she had that conversation with you.
Yeah.
I'd hate for like me going X in there. Man, RAAHiiM doesn't even look like he enjoying the show, man. He just up there singing, "I will get lonely."
Yeah,
like nah, bro. Like,
yeah.
I'm glad that you had that conversation. So she plays like a mentor role for you.
She has, yeah. She definitely has. Even just watching. Is that not even always like just things people say? Like, she's very much a lead by example kind of person.
That's dope.
And she's definitely insane. So she operates like a Kobe. Just how obsessive she is about the work.
Oh, really?
She never turns off.
I've heard stories. I heard that back in her Toronto days, if she was at a jam, like she'd have her bag with her mic
Always.
And her laptop.
Always.
And just
and her guitar.
ready to record anywhere.
Anywhere at all times.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I've kind of adopted that. I carry my studio equipment with me absolutely everywhere.
Literally, or earlier when we were setting
I was
up,
like,
you're
I should have brought my laptop.
I was like, why did you need your laptop?
Yeah, I was recording on tour. We mixed WiiCKEDEST in North Carolina, I think we were. Yeah, like we were sitting in the lobby, headphones on, going back and forth, like, nah, like raise this, lower this. Like, I'm always working.
I love that. I mean, it shows because
Thank you.
It's a great body of work. So what's next?
More music, more confident music, more abrasive music, more aggressive music. I don't know. I said this when we did our last interview, but I don't want to ever take a break like this again. I don't.
I'm glad.
I love it too much. I love seeing the reaction. I love watching the growth. I love experiencing people's connection to what you say and what you do. Like, I may not be able to find the resolve that I'm looking for once the song's done, but I don't know what reaction someone else might have. You know, like one of the coolest things on tour is like people crying or people saying like, yo, you don't know what this song did to me. You don't know what this song did for me. And that's like an amazing consolation prize. Because sometimes you might make a record and you think it's going to be cathartic, but really nothing happens. All you did was say it out loud. So I'll take Sally Mae in front row crying her eyes out saying, I worked through so much blah, blah, blah to this song as a consolation prize. I'll take it every single time. So yeah.
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned since, but if I'm honest, in life?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I've learned so many. Do it scared was a big one. Like, doesn't really matter how you feel about it. Do it anyway.
It's very interesting. Do it scared.
Yeah. Darren told me that. Darren Falano. He's a rapper from Brampton.
Shout out to Darren.
Yeah. It's been my dog for over 10 years now. And we were just talking about like the pressures of being an artist and the, massive amounts of work for little gain a lot of the times and just like the anxiety. He was like, yo, just do it scared. He's like, you got to do it anyway.
Yeah.
That was a big one. The second one was probably work through it anyway, which I guess is more or less the same, but that was more so on a personal level. I think I've subsided a lot of my internal issues by just working so much. And because I write for a living and I'm basically sitting here doing a therapy session telling you like, yeah, like I don't know how to like love people correctly. You think you're kind of working through it, but like not really though. And it'll always come up later.
Yeah.
So that time working on this album, and even now, like I'm becoming a lot more comfortable with the freedom of actually processing it. And even just saying it out loud. I don't think I would have said half the shit I said today 2 years ago.
No, you're a lot more composed, a lot more confident.
Thank you.
You're obviously, you've aged since then. Still young. Yeah. You're 29 this year?
Chill. Yeah, I'm 29.
I'm over 29. Hey, you're a young youth. I mean, no,
I feel like my knees don't, they don't work like they used to.
Did you hear my knee crack when I was like, geez, did the mic catch the crepitus that just came out of me? Man. If you could give one piece of advice to young RAAHiiM, to somebody that was just like you back in 2018, is that when the first project in the series dropped?
I think so, yeah.
If you could give one piece of advice back to you in 2018, what piece of advice would you give them?
Alan Ritter, one of my favorite producers of all time, said something to me years ago. I don't even think he remembered that he said this. And I wish I took it as seriously as he meant it. We got very drunk one night and he looked at me. He was like, act like you belong here because you do. If I were to talk to a younger artist or a younger version of myself, whatever you came into this room with, whatever like issues they were or whatever you have on your back, just let it go. Because it's not gonna service you in any way other than, maybe making better music. That's the only thing it's there for. Just use it to make the music. Every other aspect involving this craft, let it go. It doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to be in that room. It doesn't need to exist. Whether that's in your personal life, in your friendships, in your career, like, don't bring it with you everywhere. Because now you're going to look around and be like, oh, like, why is nothing working? You carried this with you, you know? So if I had to tell younger me something, just be like, let it go.